Yo, in this video, I'm going to show you how you're going to make a slicer navigation panel, how people tend to do them, and the way that I think you should be building them in the future. So let's have a look. So I've built the slicer panel here. I've put two buttons because that is what people tend to be doing in this moment in time. So you'll have an open button and a close button. They'll sit on top of each other. And then when you click on the first one, it will hide and then unhide the second button and then vice versa. So to the end user, it looks like you're clicking one button and really you're clicking two. The other versions I've seen is you'll have an X button in the top as well, which I shall put there. So you may have one button here to open the menu and the X button to close it that way as well. So to start off, what I would do is group all of your menu together. That'll just make life easier when doing the bookmarks. So you can just hide everything in one go. You're not going to want the buttons hidden in there though. And then you're going to assign a bookmark that has the view of when the slicer is open, which is in Bookmarks. So you want to do is hit add, and that will take a screenshot of what you're currently looking at. But you do not want data, and you don't want current page. The reason you don't want them is because if the user has a filter already, clicking the bookmark will undo it. So for example, emergent side selected, if I add data, selecting the bookmark will reset everything. So it will undo whatever your user has filtered at that moment in time. So clicking data, and then if you change something, clicking the bookmark wouldn't change anything that's been selected. On top of that, what is good practice is doing selected visuals, and that way the bookmark is only going to affect what you selected. So in this instance, we're going to want the menu. Select the menu, and then also we are going to need the just realised the X's in the menu, and you want the X in the menu? You guys will keep the menu. You can keep that in there because it's actually part of the menu. So do it again. Select the menu. Select the open and close buttons, but we'll hide one. Make sure it's still selected. Do selected visuals and update, and we'll call this one show menu. And then you're going to do the reverse. So this time you want to hide the first button, unhide the second, and then hide the menu. Again, select these three. Do take off data, current page, and selected visuals. Do update, and then you have a hide menu bookmark. Great, and then what you want to do is assign them. So you'll do a bookmark and call that one show menu. So if you keep finger on control, hit the button, it will then show the menu and the other button. And then in that button, you would have a bookmark again. This one is hide menu. So what you find is the buttons show and hide the menu, and you would put them on top of each other. Like so, and then it gives the impression it's one button. just move that over so it actually looks like a menu. Perfect. Okay, so that works great, but you actually don't need two buttons to do two different bookmarks. You can actually use a Bookmark Navigator. So if you go to Insert Buttons and then Navigator, Bookmark Navigator, everything is in there under one control. So now you've got Hide menu and Show menu. Again, you've got to keep your finger on Control, and that cycles between the two of them. And one thing you don't get when you're using a shape or an image is under Bookmarks, you've also got Allow Deselection. If you change that to On, what that means is when you select something, it will do the bookmark you've selected. When you unselect it or select something else, it will do a secondary one. So in this instance, Hide menu. So now you've got one button doing two different things. It does take the name from the first bookmark. What I would suggest is going to a website like Compart, and then in there you can actually copy that hamburger looking menu. You want that the font color to be white. So this is the default state. Oh, at the minute it's because it's selected. So you do want it to be white. The idea is that you want the button to look the same through every state, so whether it's selected or unselected. You have an option where you can make it react different when you hover over it as well. It's your preference if you want it to do something different. But unselected is the default state. So I want it white, and then I'm going to fill it there, and then font size, I'm going to do 25. That's about right. You can see there now if I hover over the top, it does something different. So again, I'm going to leave that white. Try again. Okay, now when you hover, try again, he's going to hover even. There you go. Perfect. Again, it is completely your choice. You can make it out differently. So if you wanted to hover over it and it to go yellow, for example, doing it this way, it gives you a lot more functionality with the buttons as well. Because it is text, it is something that is recognised as not being a shape, so you do have more control. I don't know if you notice as well, if you're clicking, once you select it, it's sort of highlighting. So again, the final state you want to change is the press. You want to be white again. I'm going to use mine as white at least. I'm going to fill it. It's the same. And I'll just double check. Selected. Is going to look the same as all the other states. Perfect. So now you have one button that does the menu rather than having two or more images. I hope that helps. If there's any questions, and just add them on, I'll go through them. And yeah, good luck.